We present Changing Stations. Looking back at 3 decades of music radio presentation. In the beginning, of course, there was the BBC.
This evening, I'm speaking to you not from the familiar studios in London, but from a studio in Edinburgh. And so it is with great pleasure that I hand you over now to my fellow Scot, Chief Announcer of the BBC Scottish region, Alistair McIntyre.
In a few moments, in this studio, which has
That very British stiff upper lip style of presentation typified the BBC style during the pre-war years. Notice the gap between the original presenter and the second person. Changes brought about by the war and a demand for a more relaxed and reassuring approach began the softening process. The European commercial stations, such as Radio Luxembourg, had begun this style, which was at first frowned upon by the BBC, who refused even to employ former commercial radio announcers, as they were called.
Hello everybody, this is Jack Payne speaking. We're playing now a number called Tune In.
Tune in, tune in. For if you want to while away the night or day, I simply say tune in. Keep tuning in.
Good afternoon, everybody. Initial letter N speaking, Chairman of the Grand Council of the League of Ovaltinas. I want you to listen to the Grand Council giving the roll call.
Radio Luxembourg in the 1930s, and who could forget the Ovaltinis? In the 1950s and 1960s, the youth culture of the UK began to change. There was a newfound freedom based on fashion, fun and new bands. Significantly, transistor radios became available for the first time. Unfortunately, there was no radio station playing the music audiences wanted to hear. The BBC had only the light programme, and Luxembourg, with its temperamental reception, could only offer sponsored programmes, limiting the artists whose records could be heard. One man was to change all this. Ronan O'Reilly, an Irishman, working in London nightclubs and keen to see bands he knew receive radio exposure, started his own radio station and changed the face of British radio. It began like this.
You're tuned to Radio Caroline on 199, your all-day music station. This is Simon D. talking to you on behalf of all of us on Radio Caroline, here 4.5 miles away from Felixstowe. Now, what can I tell you about the station? Well, our technical equipment, I suppose. Firstly, the transmitters are made by Continental Electronics in the States and are 10 kilowatts.
Simon D. with a remarkably staid beginning for a pirate radio station, which, after all, was designed to fly in the face of the establishment, and sounding there rather remarkably like a poor replica of the BBC, which it sought to confront.
And on Radio Caroline, we're right now presenting the Top 50. We come to the second portion of it because the time is just coming up to 5 o'clock. In case you've just tuned us in and wondering what's happening, we are Radio Caroline, and we're steaming west along the south coast of England. We're broadcasting music on the big lineup, music from 4 until 6.
The voice of Tom Lodge, and 30 years later he's still in the business. Soon, more stations came on the air, but suddenly, things changed.
The London Sound! Wonderful! Music means B-I-G-L!
Exactly 11 o'clock on Wednesday, the 23rd of December, we're hearing now the Candy and the Kisses. And a new number from this sweet chickie group, the 81.
Hello there, Paul K, bidding you welcome to another 3 hours of happy, laughing, swinging music, the top 40 and all that. Let's get the show off to a nice, easy, relaxed, slow, gentle, sit back and enjoy it start. Ooh, too. That, of course, was them, bringing the time up to 4 minutes past 9 Radio London time, the station with kicks on 266. Yes, 266. So let's have a look at another one that's very popular here.
Oh dear, the station with kicks on 266. Auntie BBC would never have approved. Stations gradually became more slick. American production techniques and presenters were engaged. New equipment brought with it split-second timing, and so, by 1967, the genre had developed to provide almost seamless radio, guaranteed to keep listeners on the edge of their seats.
Let's find it. Swinging Radio England, where the music is new.
Today, this song is Boss Sound number one.
Stay with the fun. Hear all the hits on Swinging Radio England. Swinging Radio England. Swinging Radio England, where the action is. The fastest thing in the air. Swinging Radio England. Swinging Radio England.
Magnificent stuff. Swinging Radio England, broadcasting from the North Sea with the latest American jingles, which became a key signifier of the genre. And of course, humour played an important part too, even when it meant messing about with the news.
What are you doing here, Brunt? What are you doing? I'm just superimposing this to, Why? Well, you see, Norman, who's just gone upstairs to go and get the news, the latest world news, will be coming down in about 1.5 minutes' time to read the news. Yeah. If we don't tell him, you see, I'm writing to the listeners at home, they don't know we've got little cassettes marked what's happening, you see, and for the blip, I'm going to put it on the Knox, you see. So every time he reads the news, and instead of getting a he's going to get a sort of thing, yeah. Hey, good. Do you think he'll break up? No, he's in a very serious mood today. He's got a cold in his left kneecap.
Oh, dear.
Is he back yet? No, he's not here yet. Oh, well, let's play the jingle and see if he gets back in time. And here he is, folks. Yes. Yes. Excuse me, I'll just get my chair in here. Yes. Yes. Oh, my goodness. The dateline is Saturday. Mate, you're going to give the time. Oh, yes, it's 3:30, fast approaching there, that off, yes. Right, and it's almost time for the news. That takes ages to get there, I tell you, it really does.
Yeah, here we are with that.
Oh, are we? Right.
Wonderful Radio London, news around the clock.
Dateline Saturday, February the 25th, Birkenhead. Britain's second Polaris submarine, renown, was launched this
Kenny Everett and Keith Skews giving Norman St John a hard time at Radio London. The Marine Offences Act of 1967 brought an end to most of the offshore stations. BBC Radio 1, which came on the air that September, used most of the techniques and was a direct copy of the sadly missed Radio London. The cutting edge of music production was kept going by New Pirates, broadcasting from the Netherlands. Here are some clips from Radio North Sea International and Radio Atlantis, recorded in the 1970s.
Bit of an encore for you, Roy Rogers, King of the Cowboys, and that perennial favorite for any country and western lunatic, addict, maniac, lover. A song there called Okie from Muskogee.
It's the big, wide, wonderful world of Daffy John Allen. Radio North Sea International.
Here's Chris Christopherson with his very own composition.
1578 kilocycles, or on the FM band at channel 50, 102 megacycles. And the other little tidbit of information we have for you is that Paul McCartney now says he's no longer a Beatle. You're tuned to the big sound of Radio North Sea International, 190 on your radio dial. This is the
place that's gonna blow your mind. The place that's gonna blow your mind. The place that's gonna blow your mind. This is the sound of Radio North Sea. This is the sound of Radio North Sea.
This is Radio North Sea International, Europe's only all-day music station, broadcasting from 51 degrees, 42 minutes, 30 seconds north, 1 degree, 17 minutes east, on 190 meters on the medium wave band. Also broadcasting in short wave on the 49-meter band, 6.210 megacycles, and in FM on channel 50, 102 megacycles. On the air from 5:30 a.m. to 2 a.m., this is Radio North Sea International.
Are you tired, depressed, fed up of 14-year-old girls kicking sand in your face?
Oh, no, I like it.
What you need is Gorilla Pills.
Gorilla Pills.
Yes, Gorilla Pills, guaranteed to knock your knees, grow your elbows, nurdle your nose, and give you a fairy chest.
Ooh, tell me more.
Get a free sample today by sending a stamped addressed envelope to
Gorilla Pills.
Radio Atlantis, Post Box 385, Oostburg, in the Netherlands. It'll make you into
a beast of a man.
They're green and white. You can tie them around your head, neck or knee. You can swallow them. You can burn them.
No, madam, we're not talking about your bra. We're talking about
Radio Atlantis car stickers. Folk is now available in enthralling green and white Radio Atlantis car stickers. Just send an international reply coupon to Radio Atlantis car stickers, Postbox 385, Oostburg in Holland. That's an international reply coupon to Radio Atlantis car stickers, Postbox 385, Oostburg in Holland.
Radio Atlantis. It's a blast.
There's some interesting creativity there from Radio Atlantis. Meanwhile, Radio Luxembourg had sharpened up its act. Redundant from Radio London, the mighty Kenny Everett had been let loose on the air.
All on Radio Luxembourg, otherwise known as Radio Luxembourg. It's time for that show again. Ding dong, Marilyn High, and all that kind of stuff. It's Christmas Day, so I am singing pretty rough. Dear Kenneth, you're wonderful and fantastic and cuddly and delicious. My dear, you're so right. She says I love you ever since you got fired. Oh, she also goes on to say that she likes my singing jingles. Oh, well, I'll sing you one then. There is nothing like a jingle to brighten up your day. Nothing even like a jingle to chase your cares away. Oh, nothing like a jolly jingle of Luxembourg. That's too much for me, that one. But lo, it's time for 5:45. Looking back upon the year of 1970, lots of groovy discs are staring back at me. But for one disc in particular comes easily to mind. I Want You Back by the Jackson 5.
Kenny Everett and Radio Luxembourg, both sadly no longer with us. Today there's a great variety of presentational styles to be heard on radio throughout the UK. Many radio stations are driven by computerised music delivery systems, often without the need for a presenter to be in the studio, and guaranteeing total continuity and good listener figures throughout the day. We'll end with a tribute to a really smooth-flowing station, Laser 558, which broadcast from the North Sea in the mid-1980s. A truly remarkable radio station, and for its time, at the cutting edge of technical excellence.
From the MV Communicator in international waters, we are Laser 558. Owned by Urad SA, this is free radio with non-stop hit music practicing good programming and technical standards. We are Laser 558.
Radio Laser.
Laser 558.
Home of the hits.
All Hit Radio, Laser 558, 7 minutes after the hour. David Lee Stone here. A beautiful day in the North Sea. Our first official day of broadcast. Roll those tape recorders, Mama. You know, this might be a collector's item a couple years from now. You never know about these things.
Laser film,
Laser 558. Good morning. 500 hours in the United Kingdom. 600 hours in Central Europe. I'm Rick Harris, and we're going to play some hits for you today. That's what it's all about. By the way, what are you doing sitting around listening to an empty channel on your radio for? Oh, you knew we were coming. Okay.
All Hit Radio. Laser 558.
Oh, yeah. How about that? That is Bucks Fizz and Land of Make-Believe, which sometimes is the place I believe we're actually broadcasting from, but no, we're on one of those radio ship things. We are Laser 558 broadcasting live from the MV Communicator located in international waters, the Knock Deep of the North Sea, to be a little bit more specific. Anyway, why are we out here? Well, I'll tell you, it's because the airwaves are free when broadcasting from this sort of location. It means mostly we can play a lot of music. In fact, we guarantee to bring you at least 54 minutes of music every hour that we broadcast, and no breaks longer than a minute, as you're never more than a minute away from music when listening to All Hit Radio, Laser 558.
You've been listening to Changing Stations, a review of 3 decades of music radio presentation. Changing Stations was produced by me, Phil Trotter, at the studios of Radio City, the Swansea Hospital's radio service, and is a Radio City production.
More great music on your favorite station.